Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today, and welcome to this educational presentation, where today I'm going to teach you how to supercharge your candlestick trading. This is a method we have here, one of our most popular methods we have at Specialist Trading, and you're going to see some current examples of how it works. For example, let's take a look here. We can look at this chart right now in Amgen. This just happened a month or so ago. Now, most traders looking at this chart would say, well, we're in a range market, not much happening here. There's not really a lot of opportunity. But with the method I'm going to be sharing with you today, you would have been able to identify three high probability candlestick patterns that were set to take off. And then with the second edge, we would actually confirm that those were the right signals to take, and potentially you could have captured 20 points coming into just about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So this is what we're going to be discussing: supercharged candlestick trading. And everything you're seeing today, everything I will be displaying, it comes from the PTS Primo charts. This is the platform I developed with Pro Trader Strategies that actually teaches you how to trade supercharged candlestick trading. So welcome to this educational presentation once again. My name is Steven Primo. I am the president and founder of Specialist Trading. And I would venture to say that if you're not trading candlestick patterns right now, you have in the past, or maybe after this presentation, you will be trading them, because they're really the bar chart of choice. Now, it's so funny because when I first started trading 46 years ago, no one knew what candlesticks were. And then in the 80s, they were introduced to the West, and a lot of people had very difficult time trying to interpret and see how to trade them. So what the West did was they decided to color the bars to make it more understandable, to make it easier to apply. So an up bar was colored green, a candlestick, a down was colored red. But that really goes against the traditional way in which candlesticks were originally used. We like to use the more traditional way, but on top of that, we're using a more unconventional way to actually trade candlesticks. And I really believe that it increases your odds for consistency. So you'll see that in today's educational presentation. But before we begin, as always, we are first required to share this with you. So please take a moment to view our disclaimer. I'm going to show you a lot of performance results applying this supercharged candlestick method. But please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future. And also, since we are first and foremost an educational company, all examples are strictly for educational purposes only. Now, another way to get free education on a daily basis is to follow us on Twitter or X, your title of choice, whatever you like to call it, X, formerly known as Twitter. Every day I post anywhere from 5 or 6 different snapshots of signals our strategies have generated to little bits of financial wisdom. So there's lots of great free education on a daily basis. Please feel free to follow us on Twitter. Now, as I stated in the opening statements, we are first and foremost an educational company. So we're a little bit different from other webinars. I see a lot of new names here today. If you're new to my webinars, if you're coming here today thinking that I'm going to tell you what I think the market's going to do, or what some major economic announcement is going to be, or what is the perfect stock to buy or sell, you've come to the wrong place, because as an educator, that goes entirely against our philosophy. What we want to do is put the power in your hands so that ultimately you make your own trading decisions. As I stated, I've been trading for 46 years now. And I first started my career on the floor of the Pacific Stock Exchange, where I was in a room with hundreds of traders, a couple of hundred traders at a time. And many of them made large sums of money in a relatively short time, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. And guess what? I would venture to say that only 2 or 3 of those traders I was on the floor with are still trading today, because most of them gave it all back. So see, you really have to educate yourself and make your own trading decisions, because the traders I know that are still trading don't follow someone in a chat room. They don't have a signal service where someone gives them signals on a nightly basis. They don't listen to economic news at all, or watch the guys on TV saying what you should buy or sell. They have a simple but basic plan in place that they execute themselves and apply, and they make their own trading decisions. Think of it. The entire industry is based on you going to a website or subscribing to a service or going to a chat room and finding out what someone likes or doesn't like, and then mirroring what they trade, right? Well, if this works so well, then why do 85% of all traders fail? It's obvious that that doesn't work. That concept does not work. The only concept I have found in 46 years is you have to make your own trading decisions. Well, here's the good news. That's the service we provide. In my 46 years, I have accumulated tips, techniques, strategies, and things that have shown over time to actually have high levels of consistency. So at Specialist Trading, we teach you these things and work with you so that ultimately you can decide on how to trade. Once again, we are here to make you a consistent trader. We're not here to tell you and force feed you signals. We're here to teach you the same way I was taught. That's called the Specialist Edge. So my goal is to teach you how to trade with Specialist Edge, the same edge that was taught to me some 46 years ago and that has sustained me, and hopefully it will do the same for you. All right, so we have a lot of setups to share with you today. I'm going to show you how to apply this method. But a couple of announcements before we begin. Please, if you have any questions, we have a good crowd here today. Please wait till the end of class. I don't want to stop for every slide the way some other webinars do. We'll be here way too long. I know you want to get back to trading or watching the market. But if you do have a question, write it down and try to remember it. I promise I will get to it at the very end of today's class. Now, this presentation is being recorded like all of our free webinars we give every Wednesday. If you have to leave early, or if you're having technical issues, don't worry. We will send each and every one of you a link to this recording. Okay, we're also at the same time streaming live on YouTube. So welcome to all our friends watching on YouTube. Also on YouTube, click on like or subscribe, and we'll have a lot more of these free webinars on YouTube for you as well. Okay. With that stated, let's begin today's educational presentation. Now, we're going to be talking about how to achieve supercharged candlestick trading. It's a two-step process. Here's the first step. We want to apply a method, and at Specialist Trading, our most consistent and popular method is Candlestick Strategy number 5. So let me give you some of the highlights of this particular method. Okay, strategy number 5. It's our premier candlestick strategy, and it's a non-traditional continuation method. And I'll go into that in just a few minutes, exactly what that means. The beauty of strategy number 5 is that you can apply it to any time frame, any market, and any direction. We have a lot of students around the world who like to trade currency pairs, but at the same time, they'll like to trade maybe some ETFs or the spiders or the S&P index, okay? You don't have to change things because you're changing markets. We also have traders that trade maybe tick charts, and then they'll trade weekly charts. There's nothing to change. The same rules apply whatever time frame, whatever market, or whatever direction you're trading. Now, with all of our students, we always recommend, in fact, we don't recommend, we actually require that they paper trade first, because most students actually start off getting too excited. They jump in too quickly without actually understanding the process, and they inevitably lose money. So we want you to paper trade first until you fully understand the process, because our edge with all of our methods, with all of our techniques of Specialist Trading is consistency. Now, I know a lot of you have been taught that consistency means, oh, well, that means I'm going to have a lot of winners. That means that every trade is a winner, right? No, that's not what consistency means. Consistency is a two-step forward, one-step back approach. The one step back is relative to losses. In other words, we know and are aware that we will have losses from time to time. That's okay. But as long as you can keep them in check, many times the very next setup will be able to recoup those losses. That's what you're looking for in a strategy. You know, if someone promises you the world and says, this never loses, it has a 99.9% winning rate, we have tremendous winners, you know, you should go run, because in 46 years, I've never found anything that never loses. There's always a loss here and there. That's okay. Think of any endeavor, any hobby, any sporting athlete. You know, not everyone makes a basket every time they shoot, even the best of them. Not every entertainer has a hit movie every time. You know, that's just what you want to do. What gives you that longevity is the consistency, not that everything is a home run and every time you come up to play, okay? All right, with that said, let me share with you some examples looking at strategy number 5. Here's an example recently in Airbnb, okay? This was just in June coming into July. We see we have a couple of nice setups, and then ultimately it did take off much more to the upside, okay? Roughly about 25, 30 points. Here's another example of strategy number 5, sell signals. This was an ADI, okay? This was more recent. This was just a couple of weeks ago. 2 sell signals were generated, and we see here that the market fell off rather quickly, and we had a nice little profit holding on to those, okay? This is the beauty and the simplicity of strategy number 5. But with all methods, you will go into losses from time to time. For example, a buy signal was generated here on this older chart in FOSL, but look what happened. It didn't work out well, right? Now, what we noticed here, and this is where this is a non-conventional type of method that we're going to be teaching you, is that the trend was down. So what we have found is that candlestick patterns will have a higher level of consistency if you trade them in sync with the trend. Now, this goes against everything we've ever been taught. We've always taught that candlestick patterns are reversal patterns, right? You look for something at the top of a trend to reverse or at the bottom of a trend. But it's been our observation, what I've learned in over 4 decades of trading, is that candlesticks have a higher level of consistency if you trade them in sync with the trend. Now, here's the only issue. Everyone and their brother has a different idea of how to determine what the trend is, right? You can look at moving averages, you can look at patterns, higher highs, higher lows, whatever you want to look at. You can look at 2 different time frames. Here's what I have found out to be the best thing for determining the short-term trend. This is the PET-D. This was something I was introduced to on the floor of the stock exchange, and I've been using for over 4 decades now. Now, the PET-D is a very sensitive trend determinator, okay? It's an early trend detector. It's better than anything I've ever worked with in my 4 decades of trading that is so uncanny for determining the trend, because it's really a translator. It translates on a tick-by-tick basis what the market wants to do at that moment. And think of that, what an edge. If you know what the market wants to do, all you have to simply do is jump on board, right? And just confirm whatever you want to do. Here's the only trouble. The PET-D is very cumbersome to figure out. It's a formula and a calculation that you almost have to sit in front of your computer the way I did when I first started using it with a hand calculator to figure out what the next tick is going to be. And it's just too difficult to apply. And we couldn't really use it on the floor unless we were looking at daily bars. But with the advent of high-speed computers and programmers, we're able now to make it much simpler, and we made it into a color bar algorithm. For example, let me show you what I mean here. This older chart of Aetna. All right, the stock was going straight up. Obviously, just looking offside, you say this is in an uptrend, right? The only trouble is most traders don't find out you're in an uptrend until somewhere around here. And this is where they decide to buy, or even higher at that level. And then look what happens, right? Look familiar? This is why most traders have trouble with determining a trend using the standard conventional ways of determining what a trend is. Well, let me show you how we make it simpler with the PET-D color bar tool. See how simple it is once we apply? The PET-D only will display 2 colors, either green for an uptrend or red for a downtrend. So what we're looking for is roughly about 3 consecutive bars of the same color to tell us that we're in an uptrend, if they're 3 consecutive green bars. And if we have 3 consecutive red bars, we're in a downtrend. See how simple this is? And there's no complicated things of looking at 2 different time frames, a weekly chart to determine what the hourly chart is. There's no patterns you have to look at. There's no moving averages or convoluted indicators that you don't understand. You have to make sure they all line up. All you have to do on our platform is click on the PET-D, and it automatically will color the bars either green or red. So how are we going to use it with strategy number 5? Well, we want to use it as a confirmation tool. Now, remember we had this buy signal in FOSL, right? In order to trade in sync with the trend, the bar above that buy signal needed to be colored green. So if we apply the PET-D, just click it on our platform right here, and the colors automatically change. We see here that all the bars are red. In fact, what is the bar above the signal? It's red. So that means we would not have taken this signal, and we would have saved ourselves a lot of money. So when we combine these 2 things, the PET-D with strategy number 5, we have one of my most popular and powerful trading methods. We call this the candlestick combo. So the rules are really simple. These are the candlestick combo rules. We're only going to buy or sell strategy number 5 signals that are in sync with the PET-D. So if we get a strategy number 5 buy signal, we want to make sure that the bar above the strategy number 5 setup bar is colored green. If we get a strategy number 5 sell signal, we want to make sure that the bar below the sell arrow, the red arrow, is red. And we only have to be concerned with that bar. Now, it looks nicer and it'll help if all the bars that you see on the screen are the same color, but we don't need it actually. All we need is the bar either above the arrow or below the arrow. That's how simple this process is. Let me show you how powerful it is, okay? Let's look at some recent examples and show you the power of the candlestick combo. Remember, everything you're seeing today is displayed very simply and easily, one-click access using the PTS Primo charting platform, the platform that makes candlestick trading simple. Okay, let's start off the bat right now. Let's look at EA. All right, we're looking at electronic arts, and we could, for all intents and purposes, say, yeah, we're going up, we're going higher, so we're in some kind of short-term uptrend. All right, but traditional wisdom would tell us that if we're trading candlestick, well, we have to look for a trend reversal change. So we're looking for a pattern that would tell us to sell. But we're not going to do that. We're going to be only in sync with the trend. Click on strategy number 5, click on signal arrow, and we see that we have a buy signal here. And once again, conventional wisdom would tell us not to take this because you don't want to buy while you're going higher. Now, we want to confirm this to make sure that we're in sync with the PET D. So all we have to do is click on the PET D on our platform, and the bars automatically change. So the bar above the signal is outlined green. So what is this telling us? This is a valid candlestick combo setup to take, high probability. And look what happened. In the next 4 days, it just shot up. Now, with all markets you're trading, with all time frames, all of a sudden, sometimes you'll hit some type of resistance or some type of barrier. And now a lot of traders would say, gosh, it was doing well, and I gave most of my profit back or all of it back. Well, later on in the presentation, I'm going to show you how simple it is. With one click on our platform, you could have exited right here at or near the top, and in just 4 days made a nice 10-point gain and exited the trade altogether. I'll share with you exactly how simple it is to do that in just a few minutes. All right, let's look at Apple, all right? For all intents and purposes, we're in a short-term uptrend, but all of a sudden it stops, and now we're in a downtrend. And we click on strategy 5, click on signal arrows, and yes, there's a valid sell signal, but we want to take that to the next level, because what if the PET D has colored that bar green? We don't want to take this. So we apply the PET D, click it on our platform, and we see that, well, even for the last 3 bars, the PET D is that sensitive. It's telling us that the short-term trend is down. So it's okay to sell this. This is a valid sell signal. And once again, 10 points down in just about a week. This is how simple it is. Now, how you want to trade is up to you. We're not saying that everyone wants to short Apple, but if you'd like to buy puts or some type of spread strategy with a downward bias, it's up to you. But our company is basically, as a mentorship, we're just sharing with you these high probability setups. How you choose to actually trade, buying or selling stock, futures, currency pairs, or even options, is entirely up to you. Let's look at FANG, okay? We see that we're coming lower, but now we've started to bounce. The bars are now green. So in order to take advantage of this up move, we need to have a buy signal. And guess what? There's a strategy number 5 buy signal right here, 12 points in the next week. Let's look at ADI. Someone could say, well, Steve, this is major support. I went to that chat room, and the guy says that he follows all the institutions, and the big money banks are all there, and they're all buying. So I've got to buy right here, right? Well, first of all, let me just tell you my own experience. When I was trading on the floor, I was a specialist, and I used to enter orders in my book because I was in charge of making markets in about 50 or 60 stocks like IBM, Waste Management, US Air. And just from my own personal experience, the institutions had the worst track record of any brokers or trading institutions I traded with. They were the worst because they were constantly buying and exiting orders and getting out too quickly with a loss, or canceling orders, or buying and continue to buy more as it went lower. So if someone was basing their orders or their trades off of an institution, I would highly dissuade them from doing that, because in my own personal experience, they had the worst track record ever. I would never, in my wildest dreams, try and convince someone to trade with what the institutions were doing. But believe it or not, there are so-called educators that are saying that's the best thing to do. So someone looking at this would say, well, Steve, there's major support here. You've got to buy it, right? Well, let's see what the strategy is saying. It's actually generating 2 sell signals that are colored red by the PET D. So it's gone down, but nothing much has happened, but it ultimately kicked in down 15 points. And if you miss those 2 sell signals, there was another one generated here. This was just last month. And what happened to the major support with the institutions? Let's look at another example here in a 1-hour chart of the British pound, because once again, nothing changes just because we're looking at a different market or a different time frame. We have 2 strategy 5 buy signals right here and right here. The bars above the green arrow signal bars are green. They're outlined green. So these are valid candlestick combo setups. Now, nothing much has happened. This was on the 23rd, just last week, but look what happened after that. A quick 125 pips. That's roughly about $1,200 per unit that potentially you could have captured. Now, I know a lot of you are saying, well, Steve, where do you get out? Where do I exit? Where do I place my stop? We teach all of that in the course. In fact, we teach upwards of 6 or 7 different ways to exit, 6 or 7 different ways to place your stop, because we know not everyone trades alike, nor should they trade alike. Remember, you're going to make your own trading decisions. You may like to exit very quickly and get a quick profit. Someone may like to exit and say, I'd like to get as much bang for my buck. Also, someone may have a large $200,000 account to work with, and they don't worry about risk at all. So we show them a stop placement that carries a lot of risk. Someone may have a small $5,000 account, may say, Steve, I have to worry about risk. I don't have a lot of money to spare. So you're in charge of your own trading decisions. You should be able to execute the order based on your parameters. Remember, no two traders should ever trade alike. Like when you go to a signal service, or when someone says something on a chat room, buy here, sell here. It's silly. Remember, you have to make your own trading decisions in order to become a consistent trader. Let's look at this range market in Amgen, okay? I believe this is the chart we were looking at originally, kind of just going sideways. But we had 3 buy signals, and guess what? Each one of these buy signals has the bar colored green by the PET-D. Now, even though nothing much happened in September coming into October, look at the quick 20 points that happened ultimately when the momentum kicked in. DLTR, Dollar Tree. Obviously, in hindsight, it's been going down, but look at how the PET-D gave you advance notice of that downtrend. Well in advance here, going back to August, it was showing consecutive red bars. This was telling you, coming not from me, not from some guy in a chat room, and not from some guy on TV, but from the market. Remember, because the PET-D is a translator, translating what the market wants to do. It was translating that this wanted to go much lower when price was roughly about 150, all right? So all we want to do is then find strategy 5 signals that are in sync with that. And even though we didn't get at the top, we had a number of them right here, all the way down. You could have potentially captured 20 points September coming into October. You see, normally you would be looking for buy setups. How well would candlestick reversal patterns have helped you while Dollar Tree was going lower and lower and lower? You would have lost a lot of money, right? You'll have a higher level of consistency if you trade candlestick patterns in sync with the trend. And the best thing I know for finding the trend is the PET-D. Let's look at Meta, right? Now, someone would say, well, Steve, there absolutely is no trend here. Look, we're kind of just going sideways. But look what happened. We have a buy signal. It's colored green, so that's all we need to know. This was at the beginning, about a month ago, the beginning of October. And then look what happened right after that. 25 points in the next week. You think you could have done well maybe buying some calls or a spread with a upward bias? Another downtrend here, this one in Texas Instruments coming into October. Obviously, you want to be in sync with the trend. Look at all the sell signals that strategy number 5 generated for you. You could have potentially captured 22 points. I can't help but say it more and often enough. You will have a higher level of consistency if you trade candlestick patterns in sync with the trend. And oftentimes when it looks as if there's no trend, the PET-D is so sensitive, it can steer you in the right direction. Okay, let's look at this example of a dollar, or I should say euro dollar, a daily chart. We're going lower, but look, all of a sudden we start to go higher, but we only have one green bar. Remember, we need anywhere from 3 to 5 to tell us that the trend has changed. And on top of that, we have some strategy number 5 sell signals, okay? So we stay short, and that was a wise decision because you could have potentially captured 500 pips. That's roughly $5,000 per unit had you potentially held on this entire time. So remember, just because there's one green bar, that's not enough. We need consecutive, I'd say 3, the best possible scenario 5 to tell you that you're going in one direction. You see how we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars right here that was enough to tell us it wanted to go lower. Now we can also use different time frames. Here's a weekly chart of SGEN. This was in February, going all the way back to 2023 this year, but in February. Now we had a big run up, a buy signal was generated, and it was outlined green, 50 points coming into this month. This was had you taken that first signal in February. Now, once again, if you missed that or didn't want to take that, well, you could have taken these for some nice gains as well. Let's look at BIIB. Here's a sell signal. This is kind of going complementary to traditional candlesticks. It's a reversal pattern, but it still worked. Why? Because the PET D was confirming it. We had a sell signal generated right here. The PET D colored the bar red, and look what happened after that. 25 quick points coming into the end of the month. Let's look at a weekly chart of ILMN, okay? Now, we have a sell signal, and even though all the bars are colored red, all we're concerned about is the bar color below the red arrow. And as long as this one's red, that's all we're concerned about. Now, this was a sell signal generated in August, okay? This is because this is a weekly chart. This was a sell signal generated in August of this year, and look what happened. 75 points coming into mid to end of last month. So you see the power when you combine these two things together, how they can really increase your odds for consistency and make trading simple. That's why we call this the candlestick combo. So let's recap what we shared with you today. Only buy or sell strategy number 5 signals that are in sync with the trend. And the best thing I know for determining the trend is the PET D. I can't tell you how many times it appears as if something is going sideways or maybe even higher, but the PET D is coloring the bars red. This is how sensitive it is because it's really a translator that can translate what the market wants to do. So it's not just enough to say, hey, I know what the trend's doing. I can just follow this. Trust me, the PET D is so sensitive, it can really help you. I'll show you a few examples in just a minute. So ask yourself, do you think these two methods, strategy number 5 and the PET D, can help your trading for the remainder of 2023? Today is November 1st. We only have 2 months left in the year. And I can almost guarantee that the majority of you in today's class today, we have a good class, a good size amount here. I can almost guarantee the majority of you are not anywhere near where you promised you'd be at the beginning of the year, right? That's okay. That's very normal. As we said, most traders fail, and it's not your fault. It's because of what you're being sold, of what you're being said. All you have to do is just follow this fantastic system, and it will make you a millionaire by the end of the decade. Please. You have to learn how to trade. You have to make your own trading decisions. That is why we're here. The good news is we provide you with all this information, and we're there with you every step of the way. So because of that, we have a great discount for you today that Pro Trader Strategies and myself have put together. This is our candlestick combo special. You're going to get strategy number 5 along with the PET D tool. You'll also get instant course access. You can be up and running as early as today if you like. Detailed video instruction. You'll learn all the entries, all the different variables for entering, all the different variables for exiting, all the different stop placement. You'll get the entire course rules. And on top of that, we're going to throw in 4 PET D trading techniques. These are separate and entirely different from strategy number 5 because they're only based on the PET D, the color bar tool. So you're going to get much more ways to trade with 4 separate trading techniques. This includes both add-ons, and you're going to get educational correspondence. But we're not going to stop there. Now, you've seen everything today with the PTS Primo charting platform. Now, a full year of the platform runs close to $1,800. Here's our special bonus. We're not going to charge you that at all. In fact, we're going to discount a full year down to 0. We're going to throw in a full 12 months of the platform absolutely free. So with one-click access, you can click on the PET D, the color bar tool. With one-click access, you can see the strategy number 5, buy and sell signals. That's how simple it is. But remember, you're not just going to get that with the PTS Primo charts. There are a host of other things that are included. With strategy 5 and the PET D, you'll also get our proprietary buy-sell line. This is a great tool that automatically tells you the overall trend in an instant. See, the PET D tells you the short-term trend, but the proprietary buy-sell line will tell you the overall trend. In one click, you'll be able to have both in sync together. You'll get a scanner. You can scan for nightly signals where you can just come home at night and see what's in sync with the PET D and strategy number 5, all right? You'll also get a strength of trend tool that shows you how strong a trend is. If you want to stay in longer, or if you think it's running out of steam, you can get out. Or if you're thinking that a sell-off is running out of steam, it's a good indication to get in, okay? This all comes with personalized tech support. And also, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Comes with a host of different other trading methods and techniques that you won't find anywhere else. because they're mainly things I've accumulated in my 46 years of trading, things that I took from the floor and from a lot of floor traders. So many of the lessons and techniques that I can't show here, there's just too many to explain, are on the platform, and you'll get them free for a full year. Now, if you're still not convinced, let me share with you one other thing that is a great tool and it's a great advantage to have, and you'll only find it on our platform. These are automatic exit levels. These are just one of the different ways to exit the strategy. All right. And remember, we talked about that buy signal at the beginning. I said we had a really nice buy signal here in EA. All right. We applied the PET D, and now it's a candlestick combo. So here's what you can do prior to even entering the trade. You can see where this exit method will tell you where these exit levels are. So on our platform, click on strategy number 5, because once again, you saw that this was taking off, and then you would have given it all back, right? Click on strategy number 5. Now, normally you would click on signal arrow to find out where the signals are, but now just go down to range extension exits, okay? And even before you entered the trade, it would display these exit levels. Now, let's say you were the type of trader that wanted to get in and out. Well, you'd use exit level number 2. If you're more of a swing trader, you use exit level number 2. I'm sorry, the first one was 1. Exit level 2. And if you wanted to get the most bang for your buck, you'd use exit level number 3. Okay. Now, this changes and varies with every setup, with every market you're trading. It's not the same fixed for everything. So let's say you decided to go with exit level number 3. Well, guess what? You could have exited with a 10-point gain and missed everything entirely to the downside. This is the beauty of this. You won't find this anywhere else except on our platform. One click and you'll automatically see these levels appear. Now, remember, the candlestick combo is one of our most popular candlestick methods. It's great for generating gains, but also it can keep you out of trouble. Let me show you an example here. Here's an older example in Tesla. We had 3 signals here. Now, these are all valid strategy number 5 buy signals. But remember, if you want to take your trading up to the next level, it's best to apply the PET D, because the PET D is the translator. So with just trading the strategy number 5 setups by themselves, that's good, but we can make it even better. So let's apply the PET D. And now we see the colors are above and below the arrows. Now, in order to take these buy signals, you would have had to see that the bars above were colored or outlined green. And what color are they? They're red. So we did not take these signals, but we took this one because the sell signal bar below is red. And you could have potentially captured 30 points. So you see how the candlestick combo can really help you. It'll keep you out and filter out those bad setups, and designed to keep you in the good ones. A year from today, trust me, you will have wished you became a member of the Candlestick Combo course. Here's how to do that. We have a great offer for you today. There's 2 ways to become a student of mine in the course. Remember, this is our Candlestick Combo special. You're going to get all of this. Now, normally, strategy number 5 with the PET D will cost you close to $5,500. We're not going to charge you that. We're discounting it down to only $29.95. You're going to save over $2,500 or $2,400, close to $2,500. That's almost a 50% discount. Now, we realize $29.95 is still difficult for many people to come up with. So we've taken it to the next level. We have a super discount. If you don't want to pay in full $29.95, for only $4.97 for a small deposit, you can still be up and running and establish a $97 per month payment plan. Okay, so think of that. For less than $500, a one-time payment fee, you can be up and running as early as today and just establish a $97 payment plan. That comes, once again, which either way you decide to do it, you're still going to get a full year free of the platform. If you want to pay in full for $29.95, or if you want to establish a payment plan, you'll still get a full year of the platform with all of the extra things included within that platform package. Okay, here's how to take advantage of this. Contact my sister site, Pro Trader Strategies. I developed the platform with them. They're also in charge of all the tech support as well as all the pricing and discounts. You can give them a call right here at area code 310-598-6677. They have trading consultants operating the phones right now that would be more than happy to either take your order over the phone or answer any questions concerning pricing or concerning the platform tech support. data issues, anything you're concerned about, okay? So they're very flexible, and trust me, they're not high salesmen. They're not going to try and obligate you to buy something right now. They're just there to give you any information. If you like to purchase it, they're fine, but don't feel intimidated as if you have to buy something. They're there to work with you, okay? 310-598-6677. Now, as I promised, I would reserve the last portion of today's educational class for any questions. So if you have any, just go to the chat box and that little icon there, click that on, or you can click on questions and answers, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Someone's saying, what do you mean? This is the most popular question I get. What do you mean by educational correspondence? Well, if you noticed on the page there that had the promo, at the very bottom of the list, it said it also includes educational correspondence. What this means is once you become a student of mine, you will get my private email address, and you can contact me whenever you like, whenever you have a question. So it can be during the weekend, after the close, before the opening. It makes no difference. So you never have to feel as if you're out of touch with me. You can always contact me, and I'll answer and get back to you as soon as possible. Usually no more than 24 hours, but sometimes I'll answer within the next 10, 15 minutes if I'm not that busy. So I'm sure right now, as we're speaking, I'm probably be getting some questions from my other students in other courses, and I can't answer them right now, but as soon as we conclude this presentation, I will be answering emails from other courses, okay? So there's lots of ways to stay in touch. Don't ever feel as if the way some other courses do, where they take your $10,000 and say, thank you very much, and throw you to the wolves, okay? We're not like that. We're an educational company first. We want to teach you how to trade. And the best way to do that, next to having me sit next to you, is to give you my personal email address. And also that comes right to me. It doesn't go to an intern, doesn't go to a salesperson, it comes right to my email address. So I'm the only one seeing your questions, okay? Good question. How long is this offer for? Well, usually these offers, since I do these free webinars each week and we talk about a different course each week, usually they last about a week, sometimes only until the weekend. So if you're at all interested in the Candlestick Combo, which is a great course, and also this is a great discount, for less than $500, you can be up and running. I would probably get this video, just my suggestion, get the video that we're going to send you today, watch it, and then make your decision before the weekend, and you can hold on to this price, because most likely, if you're like other students have done in the past, they'll sit on this for a couple of weeks, maybe even a month, and they'll see their trading profits diminish and get many more losses in what they're trading now. They'll say, you know what, Steve, I want to take advantage of that Candlestick Combo course. I saw your class about a month ago. I'm convinced my method isn't working. I keep losing. Well, I'm sorry to say that offer is over, and most likely you'll have to spend the full price of, which was like close to $5,500. So if you're interested, really interested, watch the video again, look at the examples, and see how it can really help your trading. I really, truly believe the Candlestick Combo can really help your trading if you like trading candlesticks, okay? Okay, good questions. Any more? Remember, even if you're not yet sure about becoming a student of mine in the course, that's okay. You can still contact Pro Trader Strategies at 310-598-6677. They'd be happy to answer any questions concerning data or pricing, even take your order over the phone if you decide in a couple of days or not, okay? They're no obligation to purchase anything, and they're there to work for you. They're very flexible. Now, that link you see at the very bottom is the link that will take you to the info page. It would also take you to the sign-up page if you'd like to do it online, but it's not a live link. You'd have to copy and paste that. So we've provided you with a live link in the chat box. All you have to do is open up the chat box, and you see there's a live link there. Just click that on, and it will automatically open up a browser that takes you to that info page, okay? Okay, if there are no further questions, I just want to thank you so much for attending. I really hope you learned something about not only at the way we look at candlestick trading, and it's a non-conventional way that we think will bring you more and better results to your candlestick trading, but more about our philosophy of educating and teaching you. We want to put the power in your hands so that you can make your own trading decisions. Remember, the entire industry is based on you following what someone else says or does. And remember, if that works so well, then why do 85% of all traders fail? It's because it doesn't work when you blindly follow someone. The only way I have found that really achieves consistency in trading the markets is when you're taught fundamental information that has stood the test of time, and it really has high levels of consistency. And then someone works with you so that you can ultimately decide how to make your own trading decisions. You'll never have to rely on going to a chat room or listening to some guy on TV. You can wait and make your own decisions on your own. This is what our goal is as a mentor, and this is what my goal is, to teach you how to trade the same way I was taught and what has sustained me now for over 4 decades, okay? So as we take one last look at our disclaimer, thank you so much for taking time out of your Wednesday. I hope you really learned something, but most especially, I look forward to all of you becoming students of mine in the Strategy Number 5 Candlestick Combo course. Thank you so much for attending. Have a great Wednesday. Hope to see you in class. Bye-bye.